Next time I'm gonna have my stuff twisted up decently. Next time, it's about that time.
And all that good for that retwist. You see, I got a hat on right now. But we here.
Yeah.
It's not a 3-episode rule. It's a review. Reviewing at X-Men 97. We did part 1 through 5. Now I'm doing episodes 6 through 10. Yeah, I made Spider-Can, aka the Bro on the Board Cartel. Jensen, Comic Master. Follow him on all platforms. And then
the real symbol of hope, not Superman.
Damn. Well,
is it Spider-Man?
We're gonna talk about Kal-El not getting the proper respect he deserves. But other than that, got a little loose V here. Otis East, Blurred Proof Entertainment, Then and Now podcast. I mean, just a busy man.
Man, real talk.
But we're here. So we talked about episodes 1 through 5 earlier. Now again in nitty gritty 6 through 10 for X-Men 97. But yeah, we ended off episode 5, Gambit dying. And then we don't go right into the formalities of the funeral and stuff like that. We go to motherfucking Charles. Motherfucking Charles being a space cuck with Lalandra with his artificial legs and just doing shit. Left his kids at home, faked his death just to be married to the space bird. I mean, it opened up fire. I mean, what's it? I keep forgetting this broad's name. Landra's sister.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
Deathbird. Deathbird attacking the Kree. You get a Ronin sighting, Gladiator sighting. You get a Vulcan sighting. Wink, wink. Nobody wants to talk about that. But yeah, they beat up the Kree. Normal Kree war stuff. It ain't the Skrulls this time. So, they're fighting the Lalandra and the Shi'ar and all them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Lalandra's declaring herself getting married to Charles, but she makes a whole big spectacle of it. So I mean, of course, Deathbird ain't fucking with it.
I ain't messing with it.
Most of the Shi'ar ain't fucking with it because Charles is a.
They don't want the bloodline tainted. They don't want the bloodline tainted.
Right, not an Earthling. I called him a terrapin. So I mean, whatever. I mean, we're lower life forms than them, so it's fine. But yes, Charles up there being a space cut for the most part. So they had that followed by Life Death Part 2 with the Storm and Forge trying to get this motherfucking another bird out their motherfucking house. So we thought it was Shadow King, but it's not. It's another demonic entity. Back when Forge's granddaddy was running the tribe and all that other stuff. So I mean, that's how far back it goes. And he got bit, so he got his blood infected. Stuff like that, and make him turn. I don't know what he was going to turn into, but I guess
it won't be pretty.
So they went back and forth between that and Deathbird pretty much confronted Lalandra as just like, I'll accept you marrying Charles, but you gotta wipe his memory of all X-Men stuff. He got forget about your kids. You're only gonna be Shi'ar right now. You're not claiming X-Men. Charles was like, I can't do that with my kids, but you pretty much abandoned them already. So I mean, what's love got to do with it, right? So they're going back and forth. They're going back and forth when the decision's being made, and Deathbird was going to do a coup anyway. So I mean, fuck it. And whoever is in charge, that's who Gladiator is going to follow. And Gladiator protecting Lalandra is an all-out brawl for the most part. And you saw Gladiator pulling out his super breath and vulnerability. He was on his Superman shit for the most part. And Charles just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna take y'all niggas to class." So use his psychic abilities, taking the astral plane. Pretty much just like, listen, I'm gonna hold a class on what it means to be a mutant or a lower light form in this Milky Way ghetto that you like to call. So just bear with me. So while they're doing that, Storm is gonna try and find this cacti to get rid of this demonic entity that's only temporarily put on hold because Forge did some Native American magic back in his granddaddy's days. There's a whole book about it. So I mean, they do that. Storm with a claustrophobia and all that other stuff. And we realized her powers weren't neutralized; they were just dormant what's inside her body. She comes back with I believe it was the 70s look, classic Chris Claremont 70s first issue type shit. That's when she debuted with Colossus and Wolverine and all that stuff. Giant size X-Men #1 gear.
There you go.
So, that was the part. The non-common readers. Oh, why they dress Storm like that? That's where she came. It's fine. It's gonna be an ongoing theme. Everybody gonna have a OG outfits on anyway. So in the later episodes, the Storm's back. Her power is back. They break out of the adversary. That was demonic.
She got a Sailor Moon moment,
She did have a Sailor Moon
literally.
They break out the adversary's little containment that they were in, and Forge is cool. He's back. He's healthy with his Hoochie Daddy shorts on, and they're on their way back to the mansion. While Charles finally getting the sense of his X-Men dying. You see the grave sites and what happened on Genosha, giant skeleton Gambit in his mind. He's like, "Oh, my X-Men! I gotta leave now." Should have done that maybe a couple months ago, but it's not about that. You love who you love, and Charles is gonna love who he loves. So what y'all? I don't think it was a slow episode, but it did pick up some pieces. Got Storm back on track, got Charles and whatever he was doing. What y'all feel about episode 6?
I think it gave us a good amount of action and side stories, not just focusing on what Xavier got doing our planet, but then we see what Forge and Storm are going through and what the X-Men are going through. I really loved about the episode because I love episodes where you have multiple different stories going on, but they all tie into just one story. So it's not like whatever they got going on over here, not really adding into the main story or the main plot of said episode. Would I say it's the best? No, but I wouldn't say it was it ain't bad like the Jubilee episode. The birthday episode.
We'll keep shitting on Jubilee.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I agree with Jensen. I like the Charles giving basically the reading rainbow lesson to the Shi'ar Empire inside their minds.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked seeing Storm deal with her claustrophobia and having to fight her inner demons to get to her true power. I was slightly bothered just at how quickly it happened from the initial her losing her powers. I feel like they could have spaced out that a little bit more just to have a little bit more impact to actually her getting her powers back. But for the sake of the season, I understand why they didn't. And I thought it was a pretty nice moment. Again, Storm's Sailor Moon transformation was pretty cool. And then seeing her back in the classic outfit, I feel like it's been a nice touch. I feel like little Easter egg moments like that throughout this series really just kind of shows how much the showrunners really cared about the overall lore of X-Men and not just the cartoon itself. So I really appreciated pretty much all they did for that. Seeing Charles's reaction to Gambit dying was nice. It felt like the episode of One Piece after Luffy did something and everybody else reacts to it. That's kind of what this episode reminded me of.
What score y'all giving that episode?
That one, I'll probably give a 7.5.
7 on a dot.
No way. We got that IGN score. The IGN also gave it. They also gave it a 7. So we're on a dot. IGN ain't normally right for the most part, but same sentiments. So episode 7 starts off Gambit's funeral. Rogue's not there because Rogue is on a rampage. She's I believe she starts out fighting. Did she start fighting Cap first, or did she start going to fighting the army first?
She fights the army first. She
Right.
breaks into the database, and then Cap meets her down there.
Hey, Rogue was showing off. Rogue was doing the Marvel's Capcom, X-Men Street Fighter moves, fucking up tanks. And you know, you had General Ross in a sighting going on, and then just like, yo, this can stop the Hulk. I'm not worried about no dirty ass swamp rat. And then Rogue busting that shit is like, she was taking no prisoners in that. So other than that, you see her going up north, and then find Cap, and her and Cap got a little bit of history. I don't think at this point, but well, maybe. I think was she? No, she wasn't in Secret Wars. I think Storm was only X-Men in Secret Wars. So I mean, maybe. I don't know where the correlation with them two have. But she's telling them, I'm sorry for what happened to Genosha, you know, but this ain't the way to do it. They're like, well, since you ain't defending America because it has mutants in it, you don't need this. He just chucks his shield into the mountain somewhere. So it's like, Cat just had the face like, come on, nigga, really? And what else really happened in that episode? Well, for the most part, they had the Prime Sentinels with Trask, and they went to Madripoor. So, you know about Madripoor, it's just like anything goes about the whole city. Cause drugs, sex, crime, it doesn't matter. Anything goes in Madripoor. If you got dealings, and it's also pretty much a mutant liberated city for the most part. So it's just like, it doesn't matter. I mean, they do have a not really a president, but they do have like a person that runs everything and switches with the guard every so often. Just who is there? It could be the Hellfire Club. It could be Kingpin. It could be anybody. Just like, you're just powerful and nefarious, that's the place for you to go. So the X-Men do go to Madripoor. They see Trask, and Rogue was with the shits. So I mean, it's like, you know, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Rogue just drops Trask, and they're like, whoa, the X-Men don't kill. What are we doing?
Hey, she
drops
said,
his ass right off the motherfucking building. Trask comes back as a Prime Sentinel, and this is a mutant. This is a human with nanobot symptoms to pretty much turn him into an evolved Sentinel. So just like, they start fighting him, and see Morph turn into Quicksilver, use his powers. That was pretty cool. Other than that, Trask is just cooking everybody. Cook Jean, cook Rogue, cook Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Cyclops. He gets cooked, and then you see one of the goats show up, back up, because he was in episode 5. Cable finally there, gets a little stun grenade. He gets his Marvel's Capcom 2 on, and just like, yeah, that just usually stops them. And you see the father-son reunion. We all need it. The Summers boys reuniting, and then nothing too crazy happened in episode 7, but it was still a solid episode. You had Rogue showing off, Captain America showing up, and then, you know, the X-Men getting Rogue back, and she did the classic Rogue, try to shut down Trask by touching them, and then that didn't work out too well because it's Prime Sentinel programming. So yeah, Rogue's out, and then get to see Madripoor. So they're very much evolving the landscape of X-Men, because I don't really think you saw it Madripoor in '92 for the most part.
Not that I can remember.
You got the Savage Land, you got stuff with Wolverine. If you're lucky to get a couple of his episodes, you got a couple of his things in Japan. Mural Island, obviously you're going to see that, but never Madripoor. So that was a good signing for that. What y'all think about episode 7?
Seeing Rogue toss the shields in the mountain was like, I kind of like paused and had to rewind just to make sure I saw that correctly. That was definitely great. But then also, it shows how what a lot of us have been saying for years with Captain and mutants. Cap, I'll run off the planet and go help protect the race he ain't never heard before. But when it comes to mutants who are right here, oh man, I gotta see if I'm clear to do this, and you know, let me check with them, and I can't do this like this. Like, man, come on, bro. Many times, all the stuff you've done, as far as for the Avengers or even some villains. But now when it comes to X-Men, not mutants, not even just the X, not even just any mutants, the mutants that are actually trying to protect people, the good ones. Like, okay, like what Rogue did with Trask and dropped him, I'm not even at all. At all. But then him pop, I knew he was not gonna die then, but him being turned into a prime sentinel was not what I was expecting. I think he's gonna get saved. Oh man, this, that, another, but nah, he turned into a sentinel. And he wrecked shot. So it was a great thing. This episode was picking back up the action, as I say. Storyline still good, but then the action kind of really started picking back up, especially with Rogue going rampage.
Yeah, and also you still think Sinister is the villain at this point because Trash was duped.
Right.
Also,
yeah.
No, I agree here. I think this is one of the episodes where they were really doing world building for not just like the X-Men, but like the Marvel animated world in general. I feel like you got to see a little bit of, just hints to what this animated world can hold and some things that we're going to see in the future. I think you get to see a little bit more in a later episode, but this is kind of like the start of that, just seeing how much this story touches the rest of that world. Of course, seeing Rogue going on Rampage is great. She was fully justified dropping them because, I mean, if you hadn't built this technology in the first place, we wouldn't have seen this massacre that had, like, literal massacre of people.
Come on, man. X-Men don't kill.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about that, bro. I can point out about 10 that will put somebody on the t-shirt.
That have been main members. You picked the wrong day, Cyclops. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there.
If Cyclops had his coffee by 8 o'clock, somebody can put on the shirt.
Thanks. No, I enjoyed this episode. They did a really good job at kind of baiting at what things could be, but then hitting you with a curveball of what the story unfolded. I think that they did a really good job with that with the Trask. I just figured some hero was gonna catch Trask, and now there's gonna be some new issue between the X-Men and the government or something, and it didn't fold. I didn't see him oh no, I am stronger than you. And you basically you activated my trap card, and now it's time to work. If Cable didn't show up, the X-Men probably would have ended right then and there. And then I think we got the reveal at the end of that Magneto was still alive too. So I thought that was also a pretty good moment. Really enjoyed
the real
episode.
Villain. The real villain is Bastion. So the ultimate Sentinel. So I mean, but what y'all give episode 7? Yeah, what y'all give 7?
I give it a 9.
Yeah, I think probably an 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Because again, Rogue's moment, her dialogue with Cap and with the rest of the team was so great here. I think I gotta agree. It's a 9, and still on track with IGN. I think.
I think they gave all 9s.
Okay.
I think for the rest of the series, but I could be wrong. No, 8.
I gave it an 8.
So I can see where it comes from. I think next episode's a little low for me, but shit was popping off. Episode 8 that opened up with Cable pretty much, and Cyclops and just they're pretty disgruntled, just he doesn't know his son don't know his dad, and it's he's there for a reason, they're there for a reason, and then it's just Jean. So it's just but they get their family bonding moment. Pretty much Cable's telling them about Bastion for the most part, but he only knows what he knows. He knows when he goes to stop Genosha, and he's just at a temporal point to where whatever he does, it doesn't matter what he does, he's going to get pulled back to the time. It is a set point that he cannot fix. And Beast was talking about, he brought up Kamar-Taj. you're a comic head, you know what Comitage is for the most part. So more world building. So, like I said, back in '92, they only expounded really the Savage Land for the most part, but you know, further on what Marvel can do if they reboot the whole entire thing. They could do a whole '97 universe, but that's just wishful thinking on my end, I guess. But they could. But I think with this, they having a meeting talking about I think going to like Harrisburg or something like that, where Bastion was born at. So the Summers family goes there. Jean, Cable, and Cyclops, they go there, and they go to Bastion's family home, and they realize Bastion's pretty much a mutant from the get-go. He had technopathy, so he could talk to machines and stuff like that. But they didn't know that he came from they went through his whole backstory. He came from the and infected his dad, and then dad and his mom got it on, and then he came out with the mutant power, but then he had just didn't want the power because he just technically didn't want to be born with the power, but certain things you can't choose. He's talking to machines and stuff like that. So, but as he grows up, he realizes this is what is going to happen. This is what needs to happen. He's drawing paintings. He's like, this is the final dream. He has a portrait of this Sentinels and dead mutants and all the other shit. So they run into Bastion's mom at this point, and she's still alive, and give this whole backstory. She's like, oh, he's a good kid and stuff like that. And, he's just a little bit different than everybody else. Of course, you get, before that, you do get Jean before she leaves and cross the road, try to get her mind whole again so she can wake up. And her and Nightcrawler have a little dialogue talking about blood is blood, but you get to choose your family. It's remember that just like before you go on this trip with the Cable and Cyclops. It's like everything can be fixed, and they're talking about how she wanted Nathan to be human at one point. Well, Madeline said that, but Jean was thinking it. Like Jean had Madeline's thoughts, even though she was not there. So whether it be false memories or not, she even remembers the pregnancy and all the other stuff, but she wasn't even there. So that was a little crazy at that point. We go to Sinister. He got Magneto hung up in his motherfucking black drawers. I'm like, why did
too much?
That was a thing, yeah.
I don't know. And guess what? Valerie Cooper just has a broken collarbone, and she's fine. She's like iffy with what's going on, but she kind of got. I wouldn't say she got roped into it, but she kind of betrayed them, but didn't betray them. Just like. She's just on some. I was just doing what I thought was right type shit. It was bad in general, but we all know what she does later on. After that, again, Bastion's making the Prime Sentinels. It's just like, hey, this is just the average Joe, and then we're gonna just give him these abilities, and he's gonna forget about them. But let's say a mutant first when I'm on the dive bar, time to turn it on and. Surrender mutants, you know what I mean? So Bastion got some. I'll say this for Bastion being a villain. I did like Bastion. He had some cool one-liners. You see from his point of view that you can see why he thinks he's right at times. So I think that's important for a villain to. They're going to think they're right. If you can agree with them to some point, it's just that it makes them a better villain at some point. So also other. Cameos. We saw Dr. Doom in this motherfucker. It's like, oh, I knew. Well, Dr. Doom has run with the X-Men on numerous occasions. So yeah, Dr. Doom. He's colluding with this. He's trying to make this Illuminati thing with I think he just wants Bastion's Prime Sentinels for himself to protect Latveria, but you know how that goes. Did Baron Zemo. It was Baron Zemo. It was a helmet Zemo. It was Baron Zemo. He wants his parts in there. And you see a mysterious woman. I don't know who the woman was. Was it not Was it Valentina or just like Madam Hydra or something like that? Or
Unless I miss, I don't think that's ever been confirmed. But Madam Hydra is definitely
An option.
definitely a good one. But I can't think of as far as a woman character.
yeah,
I don't
just
know.
threw that out there.
As far as in that, with the Doom and Madam Web.
Nah, it was no plot device. It's not about him.
Listen, the much cameos they had, we don't know shit.
Literally.
Well, so Bastion made his hometown into Prime Sentinels. Every inhabitant of that hometown, plus his mom, turned them into Prime Sentinels, and that's where this nonstop action for the most part. They attack Cable, Cyclops, Jean. They get into the Blackbird. They try and fly away. The reporter chick that was close to Beast that interviewed him, and I believe episode 4, she was a Prime Sentinel. She whoops Beast's ass. Some protesters out in front of the gates, they turn to Prime Sentinels. Wolverine is fighting them. You get a cool scene with Wolverine. He gets thrown up into the sky and then knocked back down into Earth. I mean, not Earth, but knocked back down to the X Mansion. He's fighting with Nightcrawler. You see Nightcrawler's swordsmanship skills at this point, and it's like, well, you read the books. We know Nightcrawler's an assassin, a pirate, all types of shit. That was his first weapons, the dual swords. But he had 3 swords with the tail included, all the other stuff. I think Cyclops, and he damn sure turned into Dominic Toretto with his Porsche. And Cable's like, all right, my dad's kind of cool. We got a little Porsche going on. All right, I ain't mad at it. He starts embracing being a Summers a little bit. All right, man, I'm riding with y'all. I fucks with it. But yeah, I think the best part of the episode, Valerie Cooper frees Magneto, and get to her speech about how she wasn't really scared on Genosha. It was kind of the same thing, deja vu. Now you want to incorporate that to Black people and their struggles and what goes on today's time in 2024, racism, sexism, whatever the case. You get, your hair is different, your skin's different, your walk's different, your talk's different. You got a code switch. You got to do everything to try and blend in, and just like, and certain tragedy does happen, whether it be a shooting or just like George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, anything. It's just deja vu. It's just like nobody's pretty surprised of it, and you kind of get numb to certain situations that do happen to people of color, and it's just like, all right, well, this is happening again. There's no sensitivity to it. There's no shedding of tears for the most part. It's just like, just another day in America. However you want to translate how she said it, that's how I took it. And that's what X-Men was pretty much the stance for. Just like people that are different, people that are us, people that are minority, whether it be your skin tone, sexuality, whatever the case. You just like, you're always going to be perceived as different, and people with power will always try to exploit that. Hopefully not Sentinels. Listen, they bring out Sentinels on the Negroes. We're pretty much done. So I don't know. Other than that, but Magneto pretty much, she says Magneto is right, and he was in that Civil War, extermination era. Get the Magneto is right, Cyclops is right type era. We got, and then he pretty much puts a blackout on the whole planet. All electronics are down, and then the greatest cameo, well, not the greatest, probably the second greatest. You get to see that good old 92 Spider-Man swinging around on air like he was back in the day. And then you get Silver Samurai of all people. He wasn't, but fair. I'll let that slide. It's fine. And Magneto just puts everything back in the Stone Age. It's just like, shut everything down. All the Prime Sentinels go down. And yeah, that was episode 8 of that. So that got a 9 from IGN. I don't know if I got a 9 from y'all. What y'all thought about it?
That was 10. That was a 10 from the cameos to everything that was going on, to the slim on the back of Cyclops Porsche on his license plate. Then Magneto getting free, and he was like, man, I tried to do it Charles' way. It was not popping. So let me go back to my way, and I'm going to show this world, who Magneto really is. And again, just like with Rogue with Trash, it's crazy, but I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad at what Magneto did because he doing his way, backlash, doing it Charles' way, backlash, and then people dying, more people still dying. So either way, it's not working. So I'm just gonna do what I want. I'm just gonna do it my way. And humans are going to learn, leave us alone. And even when we try to get left alone, y'all still bother me. So I'm about to make this world, we're going back to the prehistoric age. So I'm giving everything that's transpired, I'm giving it a 10.
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of in line with Jensen. Like, I mean, it was such a big episode. Like, this does something that like you don't really get to see in cartoons, where it's like not just affecting the immediate situation of whatever's going on. Like, this is a worldwide thing that was seen and has like, you know, ramifications of, you know, global aspects. Like seeing, you know, just, you know, like you said, Silver Samurai in Japan, Spider-Man in New York, Daredevil shows up, T'Chaka is in this episode. Like they really kind of went into their bag and tried to like highlight a little bit of everything around the Marvel world, as well as like, you know, showing the backlash of like everything that has been happening within this season. And I just I respected that because that's not something you get to see often. Like it's usually like, you know, the Deus Ex Machina of after a show is over, like the world goes back to its status quo. But with this, like, nah, like this is permanently rippling through the rest of the world. And I mean, of course, everything that Magneto does with this is justified because I mean, he just saw his second genocide for 2 different reasons within one lifespan. So credit to him for doing that. And just thinking about it, like being so powerful that you can shut down electricity on the entire planet from one spot, like that's a flex in itself. The fight scene with Marvel, with Wolverine and Nightcrawler teamed up in the X-Mansion was some of the best animation that they've shown in this entire show so far, in my opinion. The fight in the trailer park with you know, Cyclops, Jean, and Cable was dope. I mean, I can't really think of anything negative to say about this episode. This is one of the best animated episodes of anything I've seen. So credit to them for that. This might have been the best episode of the show to me.
And don't forget that motherfucking Charles came back.
Yeah, and Charles pulls back up saying like, "Yo, I'm not dead." So now y'all deal with that news too. Meanwhile, the planet's under blackout.
So did they have was this episode 8 or 9 where they had Black Panther in it, stuff like that?
Actually, when he first showed up, or when he was actually talking to everybody else?
When the Prime Sentinels came, that was T'Chaka was talking to everybody. That was 10. I know that.
Okay.
When Black Panther showed up in the Prime Sentinels were in Wakanda.
Right.
Yeah, they were trying to get in, but they couldn't get through the glass.
No, this is when they like they showed him on screen like with a bunch of other people in the background in episode 8.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
Then episode what was it, 9? You get Charles there. He's waking up, pretty much dusting off the old chair and just trying to I guess not like make it up to everybody, but like trying to reason to everybody, just like not really saying why he did what he did, but just like, well, I'm here now, so let me try and fix things while I'm here. Cyclops ain't really trying to hear that. It's just like, well, y'all were my first students, and I know you. I just wanted to give y'all a chance to live a better life. Just like, you know, had to be my first students all the time. So they did that. They had to repent to them. They had to repent to Rogue in a way. That didn't work. It was most of the stuff he was doing was just falling on deaf ears. Magneto dons the whole costume that we were missing for fucking 9 episodes. So he went back to Eric Lesnar, Magneto. So we got that. Storm and Forge return. So they help Jubilee and Sunspot. Sunfire is a whole different nationality, color. That's another Sun cat. But we get Asteroid M. So Anio gets Asteroid M out the Arctic. Puts that back into the the lower outer space of Earth. And Bastion actually has a funeral for his mom for the most part. I mean, he turned into a Prime Sentinel, but I guess the villain does have a heart for the most part. So he puts his mom to rest and her big, and then going on with more villainism. So ironically, he could bypass Magneto's powers for the most part because he was powering the Sentinels by just him alone. Why everybody was just frozen solid for the most part because of what Magneto did. You get to Storm and Jean semi reuniting because it was Storm and Madeline at first, but then it's just like anyway, they picked up where they left off. So not to confuse everything. So I like their little them reuniting kind of sorta. Then you get the team formed up. So we also get gold team and blue team. So I do like that. I think what was it? Cable, Morph, Jean, Beast. They go to the Galapagos Islands for that to stop Bastion, and then blue team was going to go to outer space to stop Magneto, Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue, Nightcrawler. Not Rogue, so I'll reveal that one. Nightcrawler did go, Charles did go. So they was talking, and it was kind of descending the ranks. They was trying to listen to Charles, but they wasn't really fucking with Charles. Just like, and even Sunspot was just like, yo, didn't you leave the bad guys to command for us? He's like, all right, chill. We're just gonna do it this way. This is what we're gonna do. Everybody calm down. And we're just gonna make gold team, blue team go up and do what y'all gotta do. And then we get a funny interaction with Forge, Beast, and Storm, talking about how they're gonna shut down Bastion. And as soon as Storm heard that neutral technology, it's just like, nah, we're not gonna do that. They're like, yeah, we'll find another one. We're not gonna fuck around and neutralize this shit because we apologize. We forgot, what happened to you. So I thought that was hilarious. And then I thought it was. So other than that, with Professor X talking to Rogue, Rogue's wearing Gambit's jacket, and she has her old costume that she had on when she took Ms. Marvel's power. So that was a little throwback to her on that. And Magneto comes down and talking about, listen, I'm doing shit my way. Fuck all that bullshit we was talking about. I tried it your way. It ain't happening. So y'all niggas don't want to watch mutants die. Just ride with me. I got y'all. So that's what happened with so Rogue left. He just like, listen, all that shit just went to the shambles. Storm lost her powers. Sunspot got disowned by his family. Y'all pretty much don't know what the fuck y'all doing. I trust Magneto more than y'all right now. So she runs away so she goes with Magneto. And then Sunspot goes with Magneto also. He's like, my family put a collar on me, turn me over to pretty much the government to do whatever. And then y'all can't protect me, so I feel as though Magneto can protect me. So they lose Sunspot and all that. So they go off the Asteroid M, and they go to Mirror Island. So Mirror Island got the throwback costume. We got Marvel Girl. We got pretty much We got the first team, Cyclops. You got Brown Wolverine, the nasty colors with him, and then Cyclops talking to Cable. He gives him his Marvel vs. Capcom 2 outfit. He's like, the fuck is this? And then you get a joke from the first X-Men movie. It's like, what'd you expect? Black leather. That little throwback to the very first live action costume. I mean, I don't think it was a terrible thing, but I'll ask y'all, like, going back and watching like a live action movie, you don't really think they could pull off this blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow and then Storm gets white. Well, Holly Berry's fine. She was wearing all black. Storm had all black. That's fine. I don't think back in '99 or 2002, 2001, wherever it came out. I don't think they could pull that off with that blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. I don't think they could. I think the black was fine for what it was.
I think, I mean, that was the necessary choice over the live action. They all come out in blue spandex. It wouldn't have hit. It'd been like, what are they doing?
Agreed.
I think that's I think that's the only team that can like switch up. Like you can't put Daredevil in a different costume. You can't put Spider-Man. It's not Spider-Man. Like everybody needs their desired costume. It just the X-Men can just like, well, we just put them all black and just say fuck it because it's like 10 of them. So, I mean, I think it's the only one they could get away with. But I think that was just a sidebar. They go to the Galapagos Island. Bastion can use his powers to make the Sentinels function, and this must be the 4th motherfucking Blackbird they didn't flew in this bitch. So I mean, they got Morph and Jean, and you get this nice sentiment moment with Storm and Jean, and it's just like make them weather your mind and make them mind your stuff like that. So I thought that was cool. Storm pretty much fighting the Sentinels by herself in the air with Forge, and then you got Cable with Morph and Jean on the ground, and you say, and Morph turns into the Incredible Hulk. I thought that was cool. And then Beast, what's the sound that the one hand makes when it claps and smack the shot of the Sentinel with his own arm? I thought that was fine. You see Sinister throwing hands. Sinister throwing hands with Jean. I thought that was decent. And then also Cable gets infected by Sinister, makes him fight Jean. And then so other than that, they go to Asteroid M, and then Rogue's fighting Wolverine. You got the little tussle here and there with stuff like that. Sunspot versus Jubilee. You're gonna save that for later, but it is what it is. Magneto's doing his thing, fighting everybody. I thought that was cool. And then later in the episode, Jean's fighting Cable, and Cyclops gets to see. He brings Cyclops via astral projection to them, and Cyclops get to see Jean. Well, we're seeing it as the last moments, maybe, of Jean. She gets knocked out. She didn't die in that episode, but Magneto's helmet gets taken off, and Charles's last chance he feels is he has to probe Magneto's mind, bring the power back on, and then Cyclops stops him. It's like Gold Team needs a little bit more time. You get that scenario, and then you get Fatal Attractions, if you remember that, where Wolverine's adamantium skeleton gets ripped out by Magneto. They actually did that, so I thought that was cool.
Yep.
We didn't get what we thought was going to happen in the next episode, but I'm fine with this. This is awesome. So I mean, what y'all think of episode 9?
A lot to take in. Just, man, you summed it up perfectly. I only have nothing to add. The only thing I can really add is just seeing him pull the skeleton out. I didn't think Disney Plus had it in them with the animated show. Didn't think they had it in them, but they proved me wrong. But I have nothing. You summed up everything perfectly, so I have nothing else to add besides that.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really good episode. They do good connections between the two separate X-Men teams. I think there's a great banter between all of them. It's very clear that they aren't accepting of what Charles is saying, but they know that they have to work with him to get this plan done. So they kind of do that. I think they captured that dynamic pretty well. I thought that felt pretty authentic. I think that the even like a little bit of dialogue between Cable and Jean, like why he was being mind controlled, like I'm saying, like my mom just so happens to be one of the strongest telepaths on the planet. It tends to not skip a generation, and seeing him like really power up. I thought that was a great moment. Seeing like where Scott's like loyalties really lies. Like I'm gonna keep Jane alive. Like that's that is unquestioned here. Like slow down. You know, plan can't go right now because we got to make sure that they can make it through. I felt that moment kind of reminded me slightly of Star-Lord in Infinity War. But yeah, again, and then going to the big moment of like Magneto ripping out the skeleton, like same as Jensen. Like I was just like, yo, y'all about to do this on a kids show. Like we here, okay, cool. Played Wolverine in a coma. That's how you know that it was
That's all I saw on TikTok. That's all I tell. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? That was half of them. It's like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? It's just like, oh, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do fatal attractions. They're gonna do it. It's like you get the. Sometimes it's good to see the two polar opposites of a fan base. It's just like people that didn't know why this is happening versus people that know it's gonna happen. And it's like I think it was good side by side comparison of that.
Right, and then I'm sorry, just to add, I feel like they split a lot of the people that were informed pretty well there too, because everybody was thinking like, oh, are they going Onslaught next? Like I kept seeing that everywhere. It's like, is Onslaught coming? Is Wolverine about to go Berserker Rage? Like I feel like having that little cliffhanger that they left it on really like made the fans like kind of go wild trying to speculate onto what's going on next. And I think this show did a really job of just keeping you stuck on that series. Like you just like, okay, what's next? Like we were asking for more. So kudos to them for being able to capture that.
So what y'all get to episode 9?
That's a 9. That's a 9.
And of course, hopefully it's a series. A season finale. I'm not hoping for a series finale. We need a season 2, most definitely. So opens up with young Charles and young Magneto in a bar in Germany. So Charles does a reveal that he is a mutant because Magneto believes there's no mutants. So just like, oh, there are mutants. Don't worry about it. And it's just like. We see that in the past of them and their friendship, how it was always a dynamic of, it was a dynamic of peace between both of them at some point in time. But once you see one war and once you see one death camp and once you see one death parade and repeats itself over and over again, you kind of get tired of it and you kind of want to stop it. So we kind of see younger Magneto in the past, and then you see older Magneto struggling with Charles at this point. And then Charles does what he was supposed to do. Well, I'm not going to say does what he's supposed to do, but does what he said he was going to do. Use Magneto's brains to turn on the power. So you see more cameos. So now you see Iron Man, you see Captain America, you see Daredevil, you see Doctor Strange, you see Omega Red. Just like that was just like, so those are some crazy cameos, I believe. Just like, oh shit, you see Cloak and Dagger, you see just like, then you see Black Panther, and you see King T'Chaka, and then they do some questionable stuff in the end, but we don't get to that. You see more cameos, just like you see Alpha Flight, you see Psylocke. You see Peter Parker and Mary Jane. So that answered the question from 92 Spider-Man. Did he ever find Mary Jane? We remember the last episode. We went with Madam Web to find the real Mary Jane. And they did. He found a real Mary Jane. And you see Flash Thompson there. If you care about Flash Thompson, shout out to Flash Thompson. But those were the cameos for that episode. But what else you see? So after that, they kind of rally the troops and just like, all right, let's get Wolverine back to Earth. Well, I think they take him. Yeah, they take him back. Take the injured back to Mirror Island. So they take Wolverine back to Mirror Island. Cyclops says, "Don't you dare disappoint her. Do what you do best and heal." So he realizes that Wolverine is somewhat of an anchor to Jean. So just like he can't move past it. He can't deny it. It's just like. your wife's in love with you and another man. So it's just like, it is what it is. So, I mean, he learned to accept it. He probably a better man than I am, but hey, maturing is realizing your wife loves two men in some cases. So, I mean, it is what it is for that one. Charles is borderline comatose. Magneto's borderline comatose. You still got these fucking Prime Sentinels running around. So good job on that, Charles. All the Prime Sentinels, and then Bastion. He's more or less evolved at this point. He does destroy the collar or the crown they were trying to put onto him, and he gives some. He gave a couple one-liners on there again. Bastion was kind of
Bastion was spitting.
He was on his Thanos. He was doing his Thanos real well.
And they had Cable over a barrel. He was just controlled by Sinister, and pretty much that's when we learned Cable. He saw his mom literally die 200 times on Genosha trying to fix it, and then he was the last one pretty much on his knees. I think that was the deal that Bastion had with Sinister. So Sinister prize was Cable. He's just like, listen, I'll help you out with whatever bullshit genocide you trying to do. Just let me have Cable, because he is he makes Strife at that point. The clone of Cable is Strife, and Strife's the perfect form of Cable. No technical organic virus disease, nothing like that. So it's just like that is the perfect form he's trying to control for himself. And then everybody's captured, Beast's captured, Storm's captured, Ford's captured, all that stuff. And then, of course, Jean comes out. The Phoenix rises. And pretty much just starts wrecking shop. She reconfigured the crown, neutralized Bastion's powers to the Prime Sentinels, and then she fucking ripped the fucking X gene out of Sinister. I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do all that shit.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah, that was new.
So all the Prime Sentinels go down. You see more of the cameos. You see Cloak, Dagger, Daredevil. Silver Samurai's there, Omega Reds, all that other stuff. So this is a good sign for an expounding universe. If they ever try and do a 97, just like bring a whole Marvel 97, I don't see why you wouldn't do that. But the crown didn't stop Bastion's powers; it just stopped his communication with the Sentinels. But other than that, Bastion, he takes fucking Cable's arm and says, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna get a techno-organic armor on myself, and I'm just gonna fucking destroy the Earth." He's like, I ain't got time for this shit. So he's trying to ram Asteroid M into the Earth. Cable's pretty much down and out. And then you get to see some good fights in here. Rogue versus Bastion. They fight on the blue area of the moon. So we could get Inhumans, guys. Don't fuck it up like you did that live action show where everybody looked bad. Anyways, I hate to remind y'all that. Remember the first episode debuted? The first episode didn't debut on ABC. It debuted at IMAX theaters. If you remember that was a bad one. that was terrible. Not in IMAX theaters. So Charles is still trying to fix Magneto via his mind and all the other stuff, and you get some good action. Jubilee was throwing in work too on Bastion.
It's the most useful she's ever been.
Ever.
We can't disrespect Jubilee at this point. Cyclops was gonna put in work. Definitely episode 1 vibes. We get a mega optic blast from him, and then how'd y'all feel that Cyclops still, in some way, shape, or form, wanted to save Bastion?
Weird.
Yeah, because what reason do you have to yes, he's another mutant, but he just massacred a couple thousand mutants. So what
and bragged about it.
Yeah.
He said it took 6,420 seconds to destroy Genosha. He had down to the seconds. I don't think it's weird per se. This is early Cyclops, so he's still he wasn't in his fucking era at this point where he is now in the comics. So he still had some redeeming qualities to save all mutants for the most part. And Bastion was technically a mutant. So and Charles did try to recruit him at a young age. So I feel as though that's what he was thinking about. So questionable. Captain America says, I don't know about the asteroid. Y'all niggas gonna shoot it down. Shaka said, fuck it, throw the missiles at it. So yeah, they send the nukes over the asteroid. And President Kelly said, fuck it. I gave Charles one more try. You fuck it up, and then I don't have to blow your whole shit up. So another Easter egg was Magneto. You saw with Eric Leshner, you saw Ian McCullum in there, and then you saw Michael Fassbender name X'd out in black. So I thought that was cool for Easter egg. Other than that, they hit the asteroid M, and before the X-Men round up to try and stop asteroid from hitting the whole goddamn planet, you get a nice farewell from Jean and Cyclops talking to Cable. Cable's pretty much in a bar with one arm, just like, I don't know if I'm gonna make this. It's over from here to there. You get a cool going away there. Cyclops takes off his visor. I thought that was the coolest part of the show. This takes off his visor, hits the asteroid. Rogue using all her strength to try to stop the asteroid. Storm doing her thing. Jean doing her thing. And you get Magneto finally wakes up, and so other than that, the X-Men and the asteroid get sent into another dimension per se. The portal opens up and everybody's going. So so the end credits for that, I mean, it's been weeks. We can reveal it. I mean, I think Cyclops and Jean went to the future. You see where the Ashanti are at. You see young Cable. He had his little kufi on and all that other stuff. Man, that was weird. But whatever the case, you got Ramadan Cable. I'm for it. But you get to see that, and you can see them interact with Cable. And the rest of the X-Men went to the past. You see in Sabanor, young Apocalypse. And I think where the Citadel was at, they're thinking that's Kang at that point.
I think.
I don't know which Kang it is, but it could be a Ramatat Kang, the one with the green garments on. Could be that Kang. I don't know, but we know we see
the large palace in the background.
In the Citadel. So other than that, in the present, you're going to get Gambit. There's so much death, and you get the best one-liners in 92 X-Men was Apocalypse. And we're gonna get Gambit back. He's gonna be the Horseman of Death at that point. So that's OP Gambit. So maybe we'll get that. And that's the end of X-Men. What y'all think of episode 10? What y'all think of the season as a whole? What y'all want from season 2? I mean, the floor is y'all. I've been talking too much at this point. So
it couldn't end any better. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even know it was an end credit scene until one of my partners told me. He said on Facebook, so I literally had to go back and seeing just Apocalypse show when we see the playing card. I was like, damn, my boy Apocalypse is here. He is not going to be nice about it. And then just seeing, honestly, I'm just ready for the one-liners in the next season. But as far as this season, I couldn't ask for something better, because when I saw they was doing it again, I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they rebooting it? And then it was like, no, it's a continuation. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Then we saw the trailer. Then we saw the opening theme song, and just the expansion of the universe. Seeing all the fan favorites we grew up with, if you caught the original ones on Saturday mornings like we did. And just the whole story, the interactions, the fights, everything was straight except for the Jubilee episode. Except for the Jubilee episode. Everything else was good. Some people like, well, they could have did this, they could have did that. I'm like, nah, bro. They did all right. You know, y'all just get greedy now. You know what I'm saying? Everything was
that's why when you say you do it, then if that's the case.
Yeah. You do it. But as far as that gripe is out the way, I love the season. It was worth staying up at like 2:00 in the morning, my time and Central Time, to catch these episodes.
No, I definitely second that. I think, this episode particularly, I think they did a good job of kind of characterizing the relationship between Charles and Magneto. I think they did a great job at kind of really defining who the X-Men was, knowing that they were more than willing and accepting death to try to save the planet. I think that was a beautiful moment. I think they did a really fantastic job setting up what could be like a Marvel 97 universe that can be expanded upon. I think they did a really I didn't expect them getting pulled through time to seeing them in the future, seeing them in the past simultaneously. I had so many predictions on how the show could go. That was never even remotely in the cards. So seeing them pull something like that and just really shock the fan base and myself included was really dope. I really couldn't ask for much more except for more episodes. When I'm just sitting here wishing that you would have expounded upon the things that you showed in your series, I feel like you did a pretty damn good job of what you did. I give that episode a 9, but I give the overall series, it's a 10. To be able to inspire that much, awe. Nobody was really X-Men 97 was a thing that people were waiting for, but it wasn't expected to be groundbreaking, and they broke ground. This felt like a moment in time. And I really can't appreciate them more for what they did. And going forward, I hope they don't decide to just keep it at these 10 episode blocks. I don't think that's enough to really showcase everything that they could. But for a second season, just continue showing what happens in the world, show what happens next with Apocalypse, show that past. Just keep giving us more, man. I can't really stress that enough.
For Apocalypse, I need them one-liners. I am as far as beyond mutant as they are beyond you. I am in the rocks of the eternal shore crashed upon me and be broken. And I need watch me and tremble, where I bring the purity of oblivion to your world. I need all of that. I need all of that. So I just want to say with 92 X-Men, 92 Spider-Man was the crossover. Was the focal point of the crossovers. You got X-Men on there. You had Daredevil on there. You had Blade on there. That was the first time Blade ever really got shown in that capacity. It was a 2-part episode that got Blade on there, I think. And then you got Secret Wars. Spider-Man ran Secret Wars. He drafted his team. He just yo, give me the Fantastic Four, and if all the X-Men, he's like, I'll take Storm. Fuck it. That's all I need.
Not a bad choice.
And you got Cap, Iron Man. I think was it Iron Man? It could be War Machine. I think it was Iron Man.
Both.
Might have been both. But I know they strayed different from what Secret War was, but we really had to give them credit for doing something that big in the 90s. Just I'm gonna take all these characters and we're gonna make a cohesive storyline, making Secret Wars, and we're gonna deviate from it for what it was, but we're gonna just make it wasn't Captain America the focal point. It wasn't Iron Man. Cap didn't have his own show. Iron Man show kind of flopped. And a cool intro, but the show kind of flopped. Spider-Man was the focal point, and he was the leader. And it just they put Spider on a different plateau. Even when Spider-Man was on the X-Men cartoon, and then vice versa, it was still just Spider-Man was the focal point. They wanted to draft him to the X-Men. Yo, you're a mutant. Why don't you fuck with us? And it's not really. I'm okay. And then when it switched over to them, he's still doing the man spider thing, and just well, you're kind of mutant, but you're not a mutant. You're not enough mutant for us. It's just all right, well, fuck it. Okay, cool. That's how you feel it. You got the Fantastic Four on there, and yeah, I really like them Blade episodes. I thought that's why with Morbius and just shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all know they all fell off in the last season with the Hydro clone and Mary Jane. But if the X-Men is going to be the focal point for a new Marvel's animated universe, I think the way DC is going right now, I think Marvel has a real good chance of taking them over on the animated verse because they're clutching.
They canceled Young Justice.
Man,
I'm just saying, with this fucking Crisis on Infinite Earth making it 3-part movie, and I fell asleep on part 1 and didn't know what the fuck was going on. Really,
I still ain't even seen part 1.
I saw part 1.
I'm waiting for part 2 to finally get on Max.
I saw part 1. It was really just hard to follow. It's just like I'm in the past, I'm in the future, I'm in the different. I know when you put Flash and stuff, and you're gonna get that, but it was just really hard to follow. I know Batman Beyond's on there, and everybody's just getting wet seeing him, but cool, whatever, that's fine. And then it was a part 3, my nigga. Like, come on, like it was bad enough. Y'all went the New 52 route with your animated verses.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just going to we're going back to classic storylines. But I'm not gonna say y'all fucked up New 52. Y'all fucked up Injustice. I don't know how y'all did that, but y'all found a way to fuck up Injustice. Y'all found a way to fuck up Core Owls. Y'all found a way to fuck up, like, these are classic Batman stories, and that's y'all bread and butter. I'm good with the Flashpoint Paradox days. That was prime DC real estate. That was just like beyond the red. Nothing can touch under the red hood. Nothing Marvel ever did can touch under the red hood like that. Even when they brought out Avengers, that was fine. And Avengers 2 was a miss. And Wolverine, the Wolverine versus Hulk thing with the Thor thing on it. I mean, that
the
was
World War Hulk one was solid. The World War Hulk one was solid.
I thought
Planet
it was,
Hulk, I'm sorry.
Never just Spider-Man doesn't have one. He doesn't have an animated movie. This is insanity. This is your biggest, probably your biggest comic book character, and just like we're not gonna do it. It's just like you could. I understand if you want to keep the stuff in the movie theaters, that ain't stopping Batman. Get Robert Pattinson on that screen, and we're gonna do Dark Knight 1, 2, and then we're gonna do fucking Longest Halloween 1 and 2, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna keep pumping out Batman. I don't give a fuck if it was on the silver screen or in your fucking DVR or y'all want to do Spider-Man? Oh, we beating y'all. We got it. Y'all keep pumping out the MCU shit, and they've been missing. MCU hasn't been good since Endgame. I'm just saying, with this right here, with X-Men 97, y'all can change the game. Y'all can make a Daredevil 97, and y'all try with Cloak and Dagger. If anybody remembers it, they tried with Cloak and Dagger. Y'all can do Cloak and Dagger. Y'all can do Cloak and Dagger 97. Y'all can do Spider-Man 97 if y'all want to. Y'all can do a different Avengers show, and they don't miss with Avengers shows. I thought Earth Heroes was amazing. Y'all fucked it up. Y'all fought the Earth Minus Heroes, and I thought y'all could have messed that up. Y'all even had a new Avengers episode where Spider-Man, Wolverine, I think Hulk was in it. Like, they switched it up to where they had a new Avengers episode. Like, they were just experimenting things. Ultimate Spider-Man, I didn't like it at first, but it was fine. I know the way things are going, Miles, and how popular he is. If y'all do this with Ultimate Spider-Man, the third joint coming out, y'all gonna overtake DC very swiftly. And if y'all find something on the big screen, I know Deadpool's coming out. Y'all kind of claim it, but don't claim it. With the whole Sony shit, I get it. If y'all find an MCU movie that can just, I don't know, maybe it's Captain America: Brave New World, New World Order, whatever the fuck y'all want to call it.
I think that's gonna be dope.
I don't know if it's
I think that's gonna be dope. I think that's gonna be dope.
I do too. And then I mean that Fantastic Four movie that's dropping on the same day as that new Superman movie. I'm hoping that hits too, because we've seen that flop twice on two completely different occasions. You gotta pull it off.
I mean, tough. If we're talking about flopping twice, I mean Superman flopped 4 times. It's Superman, so we're gonna give it a pass. I mean,
yeah, it's Superman. You can only flop so much with Superman.
We recognize Christopher Reeves, understand Christopher Reeves. You know, we're gonna pay up the utmost respect to him because he was the first to do it, and it's still iconic to this day. And the other motherfuckers, now you lost Henry Cavill. I thought Man of Steel was probably one of the best Superman movies.
No, it is
the best person.
It is the best.
Yeah, just.
And then you saw Krypton finally. You saw Krypton on a world stage. You saw the Kryptonian language being used. You saw Zod and just like not looking. I'm not gonna say the first Zod was goofy because it was the 70s or the 80s. One of the two. Fine, but you saw Zod being a menace. You saw, and the fights looked like how they looked on Justice League. How do you mess that up? I don't get it. You wanted to do Batman v Superman. I get it. And shout out to Batfleck. I thought Batfleck is a good Batman. He's the best Batman by no way, shape, or form. I just thought he
does have the best fight scene though, because
he got dealt a bad hand, and it's just like, hey, I'm gonna do the best with what I got. And then I'm one of the ones to say Justice League wasn't a bad movie. I understand if you're looking at Avengers, it's like, oh, and then you look at Justice League, it's like, damn. I looked at Justice League like a live action Justice League movie because it was animated. Nobody would complain.
That's a fact.
Take scene for scene, word for word, animated. Oh, this thing's great. It's live action. No, this is bad. I'm like, what?
It would probably be less orange if it was animated.
They're like, oh god, they use Steppenwolf and whatever. I'm like, all right. I mean, Steppenwolf's not my first villain of choice to use, but if you want to set up Darkseid, they should have done this, should have done that. Whatever. Things happen. I mean, the first fucking Superman villain was fucking the fucking Darkseid's fake son. Not the fake son. It was his fake son, right?
I don't remember.
I forgot his fucking name. The guy using green, he looks like a beast.
Caliban,
there you go.
Caliban. Okay.
Caliban is one of Superman's first villains in the Superman cartoon. Giving him work, and he was a joke in Justice League, but that's one of his first villains till they get the Darkseid. You know, so it's under the same premise. But yeah, I get his Soul Show 10. I mean, they just capitalize on it. Don't make crazy. Don't do this and then just like, oh, we're gonna go to anime again. That anime era, whew, that was hard to watch. The Blade anime, the Wolverine anime, and the fucking. All right, remember the Iron Man anime with Hawkeye and Black Widow, and they tried to turn that into a Punisher movie. It was a mess.
Yeah.
So like Supernatural anime, if y'all remember that too, but a bad era. But yeah, I mean, just take this. Oh, you can do Doctor Strange 97, like you do Black Panther 97. Don't give it to MTV this time to make a 15. No, it was on BET. Black Panther cartoon was on BET. It was a 15-minute short. These are bad. Spider-Man was on MTV. Remember the cell-shaded Spider-Man that was on MTV?
That show wasn't bad though.
Ooh, bad times, man. Bad times. Y'all got Disney. Disney, do your due diligence. Like, put these motherfuckers in the show for one reason. Just like, I live in the 90s again. Fuck it.
Hey, I mean, I'm not going to part with this one. You might as well keep pushing them out. I will watch anything 97. Go ahead.
And hey, you already put Hulk, you put Quicksilver in there, you put Juggernaut in there, you put all these other characters in there. Just like, the sky's the limit, I believe.
Yeah, short shout out to Moore for being just like a walking Easter egg throughout the entire series. Like that was great. That was a great touch. Just him popping between different heroes. Well, originally just X-Men, but then transitioning over to Hulk and then just really being another engine to like really showcase the expansion of that Marvel animated universe.
Yeah, I believe so. But and us ranting, Justin Common Master on X, but where else they can find you at?
Everywhere. Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, JStar1906, Facebook, Jensen's World, podcast, Jensen's World, YouTube page, Jensen's World. JENSEN_VS World.
Yeah, Jensen's World, follow him. I'm glad you're staying on TikTok with the fucking TikTok bullshit, but but great comic posts, just like makes you think, certain things, and you don't have the power scale of everything. You just, do your little research. It might get you into a comic character you want to actually read for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's in the books, people. You don't gotta just like you do nothing crazy and egregious and just make up things. Everything's in the book. Mm-hmm. But hey, go follow Jensen's World. Might have some good versus battles for you, comic questions for you, stuff like that. So, but I appreciate you coming on here talking X-Men with me. But we like Lelouch V here. Where could I start? Blur Crew Entertainment, blur.com. Then and Now podcast, I believe on Tuesdays. So follow them. I think they're everywhere, all social media platforms. But don't let me explain it. Where do you want everybody to basically follow you at? Where they could get it?
Yeah, for sure. Like Kim was saying, Then Now podcast. Look for us everywhere. Then the and sign, don't type in the word and. It's Then and sign Now podcast. That's us.
Hit the shift key. Out there. Then.
And then of course check us out here on Blurry Cartel, making more content. We might try to sneak in My Adventures of Superman season 2 review by the time that's done. That just started back up. Of course, go to blur.com where we're putting out more merch, doing blogs, got tons of content coming to you that way. Look for us at BlurredCon where we're planning on doing our second sponsorship there. Check us out a little bit after that at DreamCon, where we're also sponsoring that as well, putting together events for it. So keep on a lookout for that. And if you're on Facebook, go to the Blur Crew Entertainment Facebook page where we're organizing our community. We're always talking shit about something there, so come join the fun.
Right.
Me, Spider-Cam, villain of the Blur Cartel. Blur Cartel's pretty much everywhere, but Facebook, IG, X, TikTok, YouTube. So I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Well, after this posted, but Monday's mostly streaming everyday 2K24 on Twitch. So you can follow us on there. Roundtable Wednesdays. Don't forget the other shows be on there. What it sound like? Make it make sense. Wife reviews, and then Friday night, Friday talking about wrestling. Nothing crazy, but this is a review. This is part 2 of X-Men 97. Follow these guys and follow them, support them, everything they got going on. We out until we get something else to review, and then we back on it. I think we might want to review these comic book live action characters, giving them a little letter grade. Who was the best? Who was the worst? We might say that. I don't know. Whatever y'all want. I'm open to everything.
Yeah, we'll probably do a review of Kaiju number 8 when that finishes up. I'm excited to see how that goes.